All right, what'd you think of this UFC card?
First of all, just like in general, what a career for Nate. I think that he does go box now. And then maybe he's going to wait and see what happens between Silva and Jake and then take advantage. But here's the thing. If Jake beats Silva, which is a fucking tough fight.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is a really tough fight for him. Like, so much credit to him for actually taking that fight. Because Silva is a striker who actually has boxing fights on his record.
Southpaw.
Boxing only. Southpaw. Which could line up okay for Jake because Jake's got that big right hand. But, I mean, that's a massive fucking step up in competition for Jake. But if he gets by Silva, the thing is, nobody's going to be surprised if he could get by Nate. Because most people would be like, well, yeah, Anderson Silva is a better striker than Nate. Nate might be more durable. Nate's jiu-jitsu might be better. Nate might be able to, like, sustain more punishment and then tire you out and get you at the end. But I don't think many people are going to sit back and go, Anderson Silva, Nate, Diaz, who is the better striker?
But Jake and Anderson aren't going to have any build-up. Nate and Jake.
Oh, yeah. It's phenomenal.
The build-up of the fucking decade. Like, it'll be insane back and forth, press conference here and there. But, like, Anderson, I don't think he's going to hype the fight as much as Nate will. And so, to that regard, yeah, people are going to be like, yeah, Anderson's a better striker, technically.
Yeah.
But the spectacle will be bigger with Nate.
100%. Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking for, and I hope they both get crazy fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, a really interesting thing will be like,
Nate deserves it, bro. Jeez.
Yeah, Nate deserves it, and he has all these fans, and you know, Nate's always going to be kind of like the face, even though he's like the lovable bad guy. But it would be interesting to see what happens with Jake.
Sorry, I cut you off. You said the interesting thing with something.
I don't know, forgot. But yeah, just I don't know. I'm very excited to see what's going on. I mean, he wins so many interesting things with this card. He wins. He ends up fighting Tony Ferguson, who, in my opinion, should retire. I think he's seen better days.
In the last 5 fights, he's what, like 0-5?
0-5.
Yeah.
And but he ends up fighting Tony Ferguson. He beats Tony Ferguson. I mean, the card gets completely jumbled around.
You think it's planned?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Really?
I don't think it's planned. I think what happened is that
I'll be an idiot and say, yeah.
That's fair.
I know Dana White says, oh, you're an idiot for thinking that, but
yeah.
No.
I could see why people believe that because it's such a weird change of events.
And also worked out so much better. In my opinion, I think the card is much more interesting the way it played out than the way it was scheduled.
Yeah, I mean...
I also think Khamzat beats Nate.
Honestly, I don't know.
I think Khamzat beats Nate, definitely. It would have been, like, one-sided. It sucks for Nate to go out like that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's just, at the last moment, give you somebody that you could possibly beat.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, Khamzat, he's an easy person to, I don't want to say like support, but believe that would beat Nate. But the problem is that like Nate he went 5 rounds with Leon, right? Taking big shots from Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards, that's those same kicks that landed on fucking Usman.
Kamar,
Diaz ate for lunch, walks through. Khamzat, in the last fight that went 3 rounds against Gilbert Burns, gassed the fuck out, looked exhausted after the fucking 2nd round.
It's weird. He's not as disciplined as the other, like Islam or Khabib.
Yeah, well, because he's Swedish.
I wonder how much that plays a role. Like, not growing up in Dagestan, I wonder if it actually impacts the way you approach the game.
I'm sure.
Even with, like, the same camp, the same training, like, he's got all those guys in his corner.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Just like that little thing you grew up in fucking socialism.
Sweden is not
like,
hard, yeah.
And he did some cheap shit. Like, Kevin Holland goes and takes this fight, which is a far more dangerous fight for him. Kevin Holland has no wrestling background whatsoever. He's not, the thing that he's bad at is wrestling, and he's fighting a guy whose major skill is wrestling, right? Goes up to fight him. They go to do a glove touch. Holland goes and puts his hand up for the glove touch.
Slings.
And then Khamzat, Khamzat
shoots.
fakes the glove touch and then shoots for him.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the fight is what happens in the fight. And it's up to Kevin Holland to protect himself at all times, 100%. You know what I mean? Like, but that being said, you talk all this shit, I'm going to kill everybody, I'm going to maul everybody, I'm going to walk through everybody. It's like, okay, then do it the right way.
Yeah.
If you can kill everybody, you can do whatever you want in there. You don't got to cheat. And it's not cheating, but it's not the most ethical way of doing it.
It just feels cheap.
It feels cheap.
Yeah.
And you probably could have got to him. Everybody gets to him that's a good wrestler. Kevin will admit he's not a great wrestler.
Yeah.
So why even do that? Who knows? But as far as like the fight card getting like all switched around, my understanding was that I guess what Dana White said is that Khamzat was on weight to make weight. And I guess the commission told him not to because maybe they thought that he was losing a dangerous amount of weight.
Because I saw and heard just through Twitter that he was at a restaurant the night before, just like hanging, eating, taking pictures of people for like 6 hours before.
Oh, bro.
Like he was just like posted up.
Again, who knows what's... I mean, Nate was at a concert the night before watching Tony Ferguson footage. He was watching fight footage. There's video of him at a concert watching fight footage. Yeah, it's amazing. That's how he's going to prepare.
Do you know what show he was at?
No, but there's a video somewhere.
Wait, but Nate was watching Ferguson footage?
The night before.
But this was...
After it was announced he's going to fight Ferguson. Yeah.
And another reason why I think that this was planned was because it's like you train for your opponent. You train for your opponent's style. So it's like to just switch your opponent at the last minute, like everything that you've been doing for the last few months. And now it's like, oh shit, I'm going to fight a completely different fighting style.
Four people are all fighting different people.
So think about it.
Unless they knew beforehand.
Well, how did Nate finish Tony Ferguson?
Oh, with the choke.
Guillotine choke, right? Yeah. And what does a wrestler do? They shoot. Yeah. So that's literally all he was practicing in camp. He literally said to Rogan afterwards, he's like, I didn't box 1 day in camp.
Wow.
All I did was wrestling camp. I actually think that's why he came in a little heavier. Like, not only did he have to make less weight, I mean, he was fighting like 170, but I wonder if he's like, having more weight will be beneficial to me because it'll be harder for me to be tossed around by this guy. If I want to be light on my feet and I'm moving and I'm shaking and I'm going to be kicking, I'm striking with somebody, then maybe it's better I'm a little leaner. But if I come in a little bit heavier...
Let me not get flipped. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, and the fact that he threw him in that guillotine, now he's nice at jiu-jitsu, but still, that's what they're planning for. The whole camp is, he's going to shoot, I'm going to get under that neck, crank, night-night. And the fact that happened makes me go, well, what would happen if Khamzat shot on him? You shoot on a black belt like Nate, who is nice at jiu-jitsu. Now it's time to dance. Jiu-jitsu starts where wrestling ends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, wrestling is getting someone to the ground. Jiu-jitsu is like, oh, we're on the ground? Let's dance. Yeah. So I can't exactly count Nate out. Like, I don't know, man.
Nate's also so interesting to me, like, because I forget that he's good at the technical side of martial arts.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And really, like, honors martial arts. And,
Yeah.
like, respects it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem like that guy in any other facet
Not
of
at
his
all.
life.
He's smoking weed. You think that this guy would be, like, disrespectful and, like, fucked up and not care about it. But within the confines of martial arts, incredibly respectful.
Most people, it applies to their whole life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, Rogan always talks about it. It's like, yo, I was, like, fighting kids and doing whatever, and then I got into martial arts, and, like, it changed everything. For Nate, it didn't seem like it changed everything.
Nope, stays right there.
Stays compartmentalized within martial arts, and then everything else is just fucking kid from Stockton.
Yeah. And that's why we love it.
Yeah, I guess, right?
But that's why I feel he would have taken the fight even if Khamzat came overweight. Like, Nate's a type is like, all right, whatever. He's a little heavy. I'll take it.
I don't think it was his decision, though. I thought it was Dana's decision to flip. Even if we're believing it wasn't staged, it was Dana's decision. He can't do anything about it.
And low key, if it was Dana's decision in UFC, that's fire of them because they're already feeding Nate an absolute animal in Khamzat, who has a size advantage over him, a strength advantage over him, and a wrestling advantage over him.
And potentially a weight advantage if they went forward with the fight.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you add that extra weight, which is crazy. It's not like we're talking about 2 or 3 pounds. We're talking about
7.5
fucking pounds, right? The fact that they switch it up maybe is like, hey, listen, we appreciate what Nate's done. We know that we've had a back and forth that wasn't awesome, but we're not about to send him out of here on a guy who missed weight by fucking 8 pounds.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful to a guy that the fans absolutely love. And maybe it's brand protection. It's like, we can't let this happen to a guy that the fans love.
Final fight, our boy, we built him up.
Yeah. And then you have a very, like, evenly matched fight with Tony Ferguson and another fan favorite, and then they go at it, and everything's awesome.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool. At the end of it, one, this was like the most eloquent I've seen Nate.
Yeah.
So I wonder if partially, like, when he talks at the press conferences, he's like super calculated, which slows down his speech. But at the end, he's like kind of like joking around. He's like like teasing and shit like that. They asked him if he'd ever do a shoey. He goes, a shoey? That's gross. Like, he's like having fun up there, and he's like speaking quickly. Usually there's like a little bit of like a stutter. He's kind of like slow.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he just felt like no stress. He felt freedom. He felt release.
Yeah.
It was great to see him just talking, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, do you feel like Kevin Holland feels fucked over?
Yo, the thing about Kevin is that he has that likability as well. And I wonder if he takes too many chances. It's like, at a certain point, we want to see you win. We don't want to see you get beat. And he's taking all these chances, and he's fighting these guys who have like wrestling disciplines. Derek Brunson is a wrestler. You know you can't wrestle. Let the UFC pair you with guys that you can have an even matchup with as you get better at wrestling, and then climb the ladder.
That's why him and Tony would have been interesting to me.
Yes.
And that's why as soon as you put Hamzat in there, it's like, okay, well, fuck.
But he wasn't going to fight Tony.
Oh, I thought
Tony was going to fight the Li Jingling or whatever his name is.
Oh,
and
really?
Kevin Holland, yeah.
Oh, I thought they just flipped those.
Oh, I thought it was just those two.
No. And then Kevin Holland was going to fight
Daniel Rodriguez?
Daniel Rodriguez.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize they switched everyone on the card.
All three of those fights, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they all, I guess,
and D-Rod is a good fight for him because they're both majority strikers.
And I didn't realize both those undercards were catchweight.
Yeah.
I guess that's a co-main. But yeah, I didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah. Which that would have been a great fight, and that's what I want to see Kevin Holland doing. I want to see him fight a really good guy like D-Rod, but maybe outstrike him and continue to win, etc. What I don't want is him to just go up against these wrestlers and just get thrown on his fucking back, and then game over every single time. And now you got this guy who's got a great personality, he's incredibly likable, he's very funny, but he's not getting enough wins where the fans can go, I really want to see this guy. We do not want to see you get beat in 40 seconds. We love you. We do not want to see that. Yeah. Do you guys have any interest in the Canelo Triple G fight?
What is this, the fourth time?
Third time? I don't even know when it is. The boxing has no ability to promote itself.
Yeah.
Outside of the YouTubers and the influencers, regular boxers, it's almost impossible to promote their fights.
Yeah. I can't even figure
out. Gervonta Davis really has he has a stronghold on the streets. We spoke about this before.
Right.
And it's like really impressive because the streets does the marketing for him. He's not really out there promoting the fights.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, nah, Gervonta's fighting.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Adrian Broner had that for a moment.
He did.
Floyd always had it. And another thing that's really interesting about Floyd, if you really, I don't know if you guys remember, Floyd would always do parties after a fight. Where he would just go to random city, like North Carolina, I'll be at this place here. There's no way they could pay him enough money where it's worth it for him to go. But I think that was his reinvestment in the fan base.
Oh, interesting.
Yo, I'm not leaving y'all. I'm in here with you guys. I'm part of this.
We're all partying together.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
And I really admired him because this guy was making $100 million a fight. There's no way that his $40,000 or whatever that you're going to pay him to show up is going to be worth it to him.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, this is how we remind people. This is how we feed the base.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the 17th.
The 17th.
Yeah, it's this Saturday.
So this Saturday. I'm just like, September 17th, I think, is Mexican Independence Day. Or this is Mexican Independence Weekend or some shit like
really?
that. Yeah. But, Triple G, I don't know, man. Triple G, Canelo. I'm going to put my money on Canelo because Canelo has outpointed him in the past. But if he's still on that vegan shit and maybe his confidence is a little low from not winning that last fight and getting handed that last fight.
But did he won the last two on points?
No, he won the last two, a split decision, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But one of them at least was a bad decision, right?
Some people say the first one Triple G should have won.
Yeah.
And I think the second one, conventional wisdom, is that Canelo.
Okay, yeah.
But then, with all these fights that are kind of close, both of them are super technical, they hit hard, and it's really tricky. I don't know. I'll tell you this, if I was a betting man, if I was a betting man and I was going to put money down, I would also, Miles, you got it?
Yeah, I beat you.
Oh, sick. Okay, good. I would also put my money with betonline.ag, the motherfucking best betting platform on the planet, because they're going to match 50% of my initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. That means if I put in $1,000, I get $500 free to go gamble with. Probably put that shit on Canelo because, he's coming off a loss. He's probably back on the meat. If Canelo's back on the meat, guguaranteed favorite. If he's still vegan, I don't know what to tell you.
You can't
bro.
be vegan with
think it makes that much of a difference?
Joe Rogan believes it, so
Yeah.
he told me that it makes a difference, so I believe him.
Yeah.
I believe him wholeheartedly. So that's where I would put my money, betonline.ag, and motherfucking use that promo code, FLAGRANT. Use it and get that shit, okay? What do y'all think?
My fear is that it's not going to be a banger. That's the only thing. You could put money on Canelo just because, technically, he's, edged out the last two.
Yeah.
But I think to your point of why it's not bigger is that it's, they're, so equally, I guess like they're so competitive with each other.
It becomes
so
boring.
matched.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just gonna go to another split decision and be like, oh.
The last fight was 4 years ago, right? How old is Triple G?
Yeah, he's older now.
Because I feel like Canelo's in his prime.
I think the Triple G is probably coming up on 40.
So I think you got to put your money on Canelo, right?
Kind of past.
I think Canelo's coming past his prime, yeah.
But like he's still a young boy, relatively speaking.
Yes, age-wise, yes.
His last fight, I think if he didn't lose his last fight, you would think Canelo's still 100% in his prime.
Absolutely.
And his last fight, he could have just lost because he, vegan. So I just don't see how you put. I know nothing, but I don't. From a distance, I don't see how you put your money on Triple G. Age, he lost the last fight 4 years ago. Canelo hasn't gotten that much worse if he has.
Right, so that means I'm betting on Triple G then.
All right, fair enough.
Just always go against whatever you guys did, and I won the last one.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Wait, what was the last one? Doesn't even remember.
It was UFC.
UFC.
Yeah, Kamaru and I forget the other one.
Kamaru, yeah. See?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Edwards, you won big.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You put money down?
Yeah.
My boy.
Bet online.
Match that initial deposit bonus.
Al stingy though. He probably bet $15.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.